If I knew what, if you could have people walking around with X's on their forehead of the people that you knew they're going to duplicate, I mean, that would be easy. But all you can do is create the environment for somebody. And all you can do is create the environment. If you guys want to go by the script, you better take the mic, because I'm not. But the first thing they did on page, I'll go to page number 6. That's can we go to page 6 real quickly, guys, or how do we do that?
Let's go to page 5 instead.
Okay.
The checklist.
Go ahead then.
Yeah. Well, there's Adam said that he bought a bundle of these. I'm going to actually do the same thing, but I actually just sat down with a brand new rep the other day, and I actually emailed her this PDF, and I gave her the pages that are important. Number 1, knowing your sponsor's information, knowing your ID number, and number 5 is important too. This is a checklist, and she said that she was already on page 20. Is that a good start for the business? It's an excellent start. So the first thing on the checklist is update your personal information in your back office. How many distributors you sign up that don't even know where their back office is? Right? Is that important to know where your checks are, your customers, and your genealogy? Absolutely. Fill out your handwriting font form. How many people still haven't filled out their handwriting font form? Think about it. Personalize your website options. You guys, I actually got a call from the lady. Ashley, could you stand up real quick? Or just raise your hand. Just raise your hand. Ashley just signed up. I got a call because she hit my website. Because it has my story on there in my picture. I don't know if it's my picture. That's scary. But
sounded good.
Put down the reason why you're in Send Out Cards, that you chose Send Out Cards. So often when I look at websites, they don't have your picture on it. Right? Put your story on it. Put some contact information on it. Complete the 72-hour challenge. We're going to talk about that here in a second. Dad, you're going to take that page. That's the page that you were referring to.
Yeah.
Complete what you want to get from your Send Out Cards business. What are your goals in Send Out Cards? Is that a good thing to write down some goals early on? Yeah, absolutely. Know how to keep score. You're going to learn about that today. Register for a Treat 'em Right seminar. Know about the local trainings. We all commend you that you're here. You knew about the local trainings. Start a personal development program. Did you guys know that we have a book of the month? Last month it was Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. This month it's The Slight Edge. Great stuff. Enroll in AutoShip. I was just talking to a lady at break. She says, I'm not on $31 a month. And I said, you want to get on $31 a month as soon as possible. It kills me when I see people in my genealogy that they sign up and it says no on AutoShip. That tells me that they're not really committed. Would that tell you the same thing? Or the person coerced them into signing up in Send Out Cards. Review the starter kit. That's the starter kit over there. Every new distributor gets one. Read the Opportunity and Fast Start Guide. That's also in there. That's the red book. That's the one that DeMar came out with DeMar's CD. Watch the Success Unit video training. I heard from someone during the break that they watched that and it told them to explain how we make money. You really want to watch the Success Unit training by Jimmy Dick. How many people have watched that? Is that awesome? You really want to see that 2 or 3 times because you want to know how you make money if you're out there talking about the opportunity to people. The Getting Started Guidebook, that's this. Write down your goals, we already mentioned that. Start your warm market list. This is the biggest step at all. We require of you, what Send Out Cards requires of us is our list, our contacts. The best thing that happened to me was I dropped my PDA and it smashed into 100 pieces and I started writing down all the people's names that were important to me. I had Barbara Starley do the same exercise. I said, write down your list, and we started going through her list. The first person, she went to her sister-in-law, I think her sister-in-law, right? And she goes, my sister-in-law owns her own greeting card company. Oh, that's going to be our first call. And guess what? She signed up, and that gave her some confidence. So write down your list, really important. And then business cards, you should have business cards. I have those Make a Difference business cards. They don't have my name on them. It says steps to making a difference. It says make a difference today. I'll show them to you guys up front if you want to see what my business card is. Order the Fast Start guides and schedule to meet with your sponsor and your first person you want to show Send Out Cards to. Ashley, I met her at Starbucks. Guess who she brought? She didn't just bring herself. She brought a what? a guest. And that guest is Jackie sitting right beside her, and she signed up and she's at this meeting. Is that a good start?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I just want to add, I mean, people over the last 5 years have always asked us, what do you guys do for a new distributor to get them trained? And for the longest time, you did something different, I did something different, you did something different. But the more we're in this business, the more I realize that we have to be, more consistent in our message. Everybody, if we're all doing the same thing, people can look at you and say, okay, I can do this, I can go through this checklist, this is very, very simple. And can you guys read this? Pretty clear, right? Any eye doctors in here? Very small. But, this checklist is very simple. All you got to do is go through the list with your new distributor. What's the new steps to get training? You got to go through this whole list of stuff. Very simple stuff to do, but what's simple is not usually easy to do. So you got to find the time to do it. Back up a page, and it goes over what we call red line training. So basically that's becoming a product of the product and knowing how to use the program, knowing how to send out a card, knowing how to make a campaign, knowing how to upload your contacts, knowing how to upload pictures. All this stuff is kind of your responsibility as a new rep. Your sponsor does not need to teach you more than once how to send out a card. Once you've sent out one with your sponsor, you should know the process. It's your job to go back through the tutorials, learn some of the stuff. That's where you're going to find that success unit training video. Watch all the videos. But like Jeff said, you can go through training and listen to all of our old conference calls and go through all the videos. But your real goal in this is to start sending cards and to start showing it to people. It's a very, very simple business. I'll make sure. They call it red line training because there's a red bar that goes across your main menu. So they call it red bar just to kind of make sure you go through everything on that red bar. But it's a stupid simple website. It's very, very easy to follow. And just become familiar with it, because the more cards you send out, the more comfortable you're going to be. When you start to go through your list and you start to contact those people, it's going to be a lot easier conversation, because if you know how to send a card without looking at the screen, it's going to be a little easier to walk someone else through the process.
Yeah, when I first got started, we didn't have a booklet like this, but I enrolled on I guess it was on a Wednesday, and I said to Jordan, if you can. I said, on Friday we're leaving to drive across country and go into Maine. If you can get me the booklet by Friday, I'll join. And he says, I'll get it here by Friday. And I thought it was strange that he didn't enroll me right on the spot. But the reason he didn't enroll me on the spot is that he wanted to call the person that had referred me to him to give him an opportunity to join first. And when that person decided to pass on it, that's when he enrolled me. Fast forward 3 years, that person's now in our downline, all right? And he has about 15 people, and he could have had 13,000 people. But it's interesting. I got the booklet. I started reading the booklet as we were driving across country. And this is the distributor manual that they give to you. And it was overwhelming. I closed it. It was just too much stuff in there for me. And I reverted back to, I have to keep it simple. In order for me to do this business, I just have to keep it simple. And here they give you something called the 72-hour challenge. And this is something that, even when I ran my copier business and I hired salespeople, the very first thing I want to do with a new hire was just get them out in the field, have them work with me, get them some success. I don't care what the success is. I was in the, like I say, the photocopier business. I don't care if it was to sell a copier or get an appointment or sell a case of paper, whatever it was, but get them success very quickly so that they could sense that. And we now call it the 72-hour challenge, and they have you list, who are the first 3 people that you're gonna talk to. Now, in my case,
You're going to send a card to.
yeah, who are you going to send a card to? In my case, it was really, it was an easy thing to pick. It was going to be Jeff and Adam and Sherry. That's the 3 people that, that I would send a card to, the 3 people that mean the most to me. And Cody, my dog. So, should be 4 out here. But, and now, and the reason they want you to do that is that they want you to sense, if you've done whenever I do a gift account walkthrough, I'm going to have that person send one to their spouse, if at all possible, so they can get that emotional impact when that person receives the card. So it's so important. And you guys, I know, use the 72-hour challenge. It's so important to get somebody involved as quickly as possible.
Well, so the 5-step process of send out cards, the first step is to be a product of the product, right? And the faster you can get someone behind the program, you sending out a card, the better off you're going to be. I remember, Dad, you signed up and you had that trip across country and you finally got to your destination and he didn't even know his ID number. He needed help logging into his account. And he called his downline to do that, not his upline. But the best thing I did, though, is I showed him how to send out a card on the site. I showed him how to send out a few. And that actually got him believing in the product and seeing how simple a system this really is.
Well, I saw the impact, Jeff, because when I got to Maine, it took us 6 days to drive across country. I found out that Sherry and I can be civil to each other for 5 full days. And unfortunately, it takes us 6 to get there. That last day is always tough for us. But when I got there and I finally got the internet hooked up, Jeff called me and he says, Dad...
Dial up.
Yeah. Jeff calls me and he says, can you believe how easy it is to send a card out on this system? Because Jeff had enrolled. After I enrolled, I jumped in the car, was driving across the country. Well, Jeff knew enough to call Jordan. I happened to mention to Jordan that, hey, my sons want to sign up. Will you call them? And so somehow they got together and Jeff signed up without me even knowing it, quite frankly. But when I got to Maine, I get this call from Jeff and said, oh, I love this system, Dad. Can you believe how easy it is to send out a card? And I go, yeah, it's awesome, isn't it? And I hadn't even logged on. I had no idea what my username was, password. I still don't know what it is, at least darn phones, I can't figure it out. But the interesting thing is, I had success, and I had it immediately, because Jeff had enrolled. And he actually happened to enroll a couple of people that week while we were traveling cross country. And so that's why, so I really understand the value of getting success as quickly as possible, whatever that might be. So.
You say your 2 sons wanted to sign up. That's a bit of a stretch, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
He basically called me up and said, give me your credit card.
Yeah.
I said, which package am I doing?
Yeah. And then I asked Adam, because it teaches you I've always been a firm believer, why are we doing this business? What are the reasons why we're doing this business? And I tell you what, it allowed me to dream again, which it probably had stopped doing. And it allowed me to dream again. So the first 2 people I wanted to share this was Jeff and Adam. And Jeff was easy. I mean, he kind of rolled on his own. And then I
Jeff
called.
says that for everything, though.
Yeah.
So.
and then I call Adam, and Adam says, "Okay." I said, "Give me your credit card. You're signing up for this." And I enrolled Adam. And now Jeff's upset. Jeff's upset because he thinks Adam should enroll under him. All right. But I called Jordan and asked him how I should do it, and Jordan said have him sign up separately. So now I'm going through the why process. Okay, Adam, I'm trying to be, why are you enrolling and send out cards? I mean, what's the why that makes you cry? Right? And his answer was
Pressure.
But I didn't care, all right? I just wanted them enrolled, all right? Now I've got my 2 sons enrolled. Now I go, okay, this is how we get started, guys. So
the 72-hour challenge, I think it's so key to get someone to start sending cards. It sounds so simple, but the only distributors that ever go off of auto ship or don't do the business, I always ask them, how many cards you sent in the last week? Oh, I haven't sent a card in the last 6 months. I had a lady call me up yesterday. She says, I need to turn off my auto ship because I have over 1,200 points in my account. I'm like, do you realize what you have sitting there, that you could really capitalize on? So it's so key. I mean, it's a habit that you have to get into. So, sending a card, we teach a card a day and a gift a week. It's so simple to do. First thing you do when you get up in the morning, just think of the first person that comes to your head, send them a card. It doesn't matter if it's, a birthday or a special occasion, just send one a day. It takes 30 seconds to do. So getting someone to get in that habit of doing it, once they do, they're going to have a connection with the product. Once they have a connection with the product, they're going to be more likely to build the business. And I always say, we talk about the 10 people you want to introduce, send out cards to in the next 72 hours. A distributor is not a distributor until they have their first distributor. Right? If you have someone that you just signed up that they don't have anybody in their group yet, they're not a distributor yet. They're a customer with an entrepreneur package until they have their first distributor. We have a couple customers probably in here that have an entrepreneur package, and you're looking at this as a way that you can really generate some income. And this is the way to do it, is to get people to send cards.
yeah, again in here it says 10 people that you want to send out cards to. And I've always taken, again, we didn't have this, but I had a little philosophy that if I had $1 million to give away, who would I give it to? All right? I'll get there. I'm going to multiply by 10. Thank you. Now just assume that you had $10 million and you wanted to give away $1 million to those 10 people in your life. Who would those 10 people be? All right? I wrote down 10 people that I wanted to share, that I would want to give $1 million to. And out of those first 10 people that I wrote down, all right, I've got the list right here, 9 out of 10 of them are in send-out cards. The only one that isn't in send-out cards is my sister and brother-in-law. All right? But that's because she doesn't use a computer. All right? But we'll get her there. We'll get her there. All right? She's my older sister.
If we can get you to an iPhone, we can get her to a computer.
Yeah, there you go. So when you take this viewpoint of thinking about the 10 people you'd like to give $1 million to, I'll tell you what, when you do enroll a person and you enroll your best friend and you want them to be successful, you sit there and go, okay, what can I do for Rick that will make sure that he's successful in this business? What do I have to do? And the first thing you have to do is obviously get him success as fast as possible. That's why they came out with the 72-hour challenge.
And when you have that, if you're working with someone that's brand new, you want them to have that success early, but you really just want them to get into action early. Have them start showing the system to people. And my goal when I have a new person get started is not to have them sign up their first person on their first walkthrough. That'd be fantastic, but really all you can control is the activity part of it. So if we can get them to start showing the system a little bit, it's very easy. If they have success, great, but success is the activity. And that's what we tracked with the Daily 8. But when we were at the retreat a couple weeks ago, we did a full day workshop on what's called the MLM blueprint, which is like the mindset you have on network marketing, multi-level marketing, what your belief is. And one of the things we talked about were different shutdowns that happen in this business. I thought this would be a good time to share a couple of the shutdowns that happen. So a shutdown is basically something that happens to you in your business, and all of a sudden, you lose a distributor, or someone stops working, or they move on to something else. But the first shutdown is you're brand new in this business, and you are so excited to go and share this with your best friend because he would be fantastic at this. He's going to build a huge downline. You guys are going to partner up and have a lot of fun. And you go and you show it to him. You're super excited, and he throws it back in your face saying, "What are you thinking signing up for one of these network marketing deals? This is just a scam. This is a pyramid." And all of a sudden, you're getting all this negativity from someone that you thought was going to be your best distributor, and that's your first shutdown. So this can happen. This happens a lot when people first get started in this business. They show it to a few people, and they don't get that response that they're looking for, and it's tough for them. And people don't have that thick of skin to keep going. So that's the first shutdown.
Well, yeah, and is it important to know that right now as a distributor? So you can tell a potential new team member and say, hey, listen, Mike, this is what's going to happen. Shutdown number 1, write it down. You're going to start talking to your friends and family. They're going to say this is a stupid idea. If he knows that going into it, say, hey, I had a couple people that said this is a stupid idea. You guys like that, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. But knowing that going into it, it's a good thing. But the bad thing is if you don't tell them, they start believing it. And then they start believing it, this is a stupid thing. Why am I in this thing? I'm questioning myself now. Maybe I can't make money in this. I don't know what I'm thinking. They start believing it. And it starts becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy where your sponsor just told them the truth. This is what you're going to experience. So hopefully you're writing that down because shutdown number 1, you guys are going to experience it, and your team members are going to experience it. This is Cody's new workshop, by the way. This is a book that's going to come out probably this year, and it's going to be a new workshop/seminar that you guys are going to be taught all around the world. So.
Yeah, as we were driving across, now remember we signed up on Friday, we took off to drive across country. And I got out my little manual and I'm starting to write down people that I'm really looking forward to showing this to. And one of the reasons why you want to write down 100 and, start